Hello, this is Jane Lazenby. I'm an equine and fine art photographer and I'm on lockdown. So I'm deciding to have a little play with textures. So this is about lockdown textures, capturing texture elements inside and outside the home during COVID-19 lockdown. I'm hoping to inspire you where to find some textures and what sort of images will be good. And then I'm going to go on to a part 2 and I'm going to use the textures I've found to create some gorgeous fine art edits. My first texture was around the side of my outdoor gas meter. It's a very old little meter and the paint is beautifully cracked. So quick snap, daylight, 50mm, here we go. This will be wonderful over some elements to give a very sort of porcelain doll, aged antique feel. Again, the same texture, but just moved round a little bit more with the camera. A lot of aging and distressing in here. So again, things that will translate very well to adding elements within your images. This is the back of an old painting that was on the wall. So this is just painted canvas, but added to an image will help to create a very painterly feel. One of my paving stones outside my house on the way back to the road. I've got lots of textures from the stone. Some of them are a real Yorkshire stone. Some of them are concrete reproduction, but lots of different elements in them. So paving stone number 1, paving stone number 2 with the added delight of some splashes of bathroom paint. Here we have a cork patterned lino. So this is actually my kitchen floor. It's very classy, isn't it? This is a cork pinboard. So I just unpinned the alt tickets and things that were on it, and again, just a natural light close-up. This is the outside masonry paint on an old shed. I like to call this one Dad's Shed number 1 and Dad's Shed number 2. But both of these, although very sort of subtle colour-wise, they've got such wonderful painterly textures. If you like your fine art edits, you like the painterly feel, these will add a beautiful element. This is old galvanised metal lying around in the garden, as is this. But again, very subtle, quite a nice sort of velvety softness to these, and a quite unusual texture to add in. I may clone out the little bit of bird dirt in the bottom left corner. So these textures are all straight out of camera. So there may be spider webs, bits and pieces, splashes of paint or whatever you want to remove. Now this is taken through a window of the back of a piece of hardboard. And if you close one eye and squint, you can almost see me with the camera reflected in the glass. But again, I thought that added a nice colour element to a very regular texture. Kitchen work surface. It's an interesting one. I can imagine this being on a very low opacity, adding a really nice mottled element to a backdrop. This is a tile in the kitchen. Again, just a 50mm. This is a snap of a piece of raw MDF. I say raw, unpainted MDF. And it's got this lovely wood mottling. Not too strong either. That's quite a nice subtle one. Mottled carpet. Fantastic for giving an oil painting impression to your work. Again, the carpet with more distance, it's sort of much more of a sort of stand back shot. Lots of different colours, lots of lovely sort of feeling of brush marks. So this again will add an oil painty feel. This is the dog rug. The dog was most indignant, but it's a lovely texture. It's almost sort of landscape-like. So this is going to be a great addition to my portfolio of textures. This is a painted concrete floor that's had a lot of wear. I'm not sure exactly where this one may be good at. It's so new, literally 10 minutes old, but we'll definitely find a use for it. This is painted wallpaper, very subtle, will give the feeling of a fine art paper when added to an image. So it'll save us money on our printing, and we can print on standard paper, yet have that very slight watercolour feel. A lot stronger. This is an Glypta wallpaper that's been painted. I like the Art Nouveau feel. I thought it could really play well behind a figure and just add a slight detailed patterning to a backdrop. More cracked paint round a window. It is telling me really that my DIY is not up to scratch, but it's a lovely texture, very delicate. This is striped glass. Again, it's a very bold, strong pattern, and I think this could add quite a few nice elements to urban scenes and cityscapes as well. More pattern glass. This is that little round section in my front door. I'm not sure again where it may feature, but I've a leaning towards using it behind a portrait, just to add a tiny subtle quirk into a black background. Another paving stone, really nice and weathered and aged. Again, another paving stone in a different part of the garden. It's caught a sort of different feeling with the lichen and the age build-up. Again, a different colour of stone, much darker, and the patterning on it is much finer as well. I think this would be beautiful with a figure. Another paving stone, another completely different colour combination as well. Now this is the lovely section of damp I have. The back of my kitchen, I had to move all of the sacks of potatoes and bits and pieces away. I like to hide this bit, but actually it will be a beautiful texture to use to create quite a statement. This is just sandstone. This was down the corner of the garage. And a lovely piece of old painted weathered wood from a gatepost. This was like a red clay slate. I think something that's come off the roof many moons ago, and again was just lying around in the garden. So all of these things, I've not gone more than 10 steps outside my house. I am lucky, I've got a garden, and my house is pretty old. And probably I'm very lucky that I'm not good at DIY, because it certainly makes me better at finding textures. So that's just a little overview of the textures that I'm going to use in part 2 and create some painterly edits. So I hope you can join me there. Thanks for watching.